Today, we are going to be making hibachi apple. This is gonna be the best hibachi you've ever had. I love it, and we hardly go to Japanese restaurants anymore. So let's go over our ingredients to get started. All right, so we're gonna be making fried rice. So I have 1 cup of white rice. Obviously, if you're cooking for more people, then you can double the portion sizes. I have bean sprouts, 1 zucchini, 2 eggs, half an onion, a white onion, do not do purple or yellow, 1 stick of butter. We will not use the whole stick, but just have the whole thing. Strip steak is the best cut for hibachi. We are cutting it up into small pieces while it's on the griddle, so just buy strip steak, and I promise you it will be the best. It's what they use at hibachi restaurants, tried and true. All right, and then we have some salt and pepper, soy sauce, and you can do less sodium or whatever. This is gonna have a crap ton of salt on it, so it's already out the door. You're already consuming a lot of salt. And then yum sauce. And then you're gonna want whatever oil you are choosing to cook with. Today I'm using avocado oil. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. I'm gonna start with my rice because that's gonna take a while to cook. So I have, like I said, 1 cup of rice, and then 1 cup of rice calls for 2 cups of water, and then we're just gonna set that out of the way to boil and thicken, and then you can season it with a little bit of salt if you'd like. Okay, and I'm putting it on max heat so that way it can be done quickly. Now it's time to start cutting up our vegetables. Okay, we are going to leave the onion in pieces like this. If you are cooking for more people, you can do a whole onion. Since I'm only cooking for 2 of us, I'm just doing half. If you want to turn it into a volcano and stuff, you need a whole onion for that, in case you have some party guests. But now we're gonna stack our zucchini. We're gonna cut them in half. They'll cook faster that way, and it's just not as much zucchini in your mouth at once. So now I'm just transferring everything into little bowls. It just is nice when you're trying to dump everything onto the stovetop. And then for today, I am using a flat cooktop. Any flat cook surface that you have will work great. And then, I mean, even if you run to the store and grab one for like 15 bucks, they sell them for so cheap. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and season my steak, both sides. When I'm cooking hibachi, I always do the rice first. It takes the longest. You have to start with the rice to time everything right. For the next step, you'll need your eggs, and then the rice, and then we'll throw on the vegetables and the steak last. You are gonna want a small knife to use while you're cooking. It has to be sharp because it has to cut up your steak, and like I said, it's gonna be very time sensitive, so having a nice sharp knife is very important. And then you're gonna want a nice spatula that is pretty flat and has lots of surface on it because of scooping up your rice. And I'm not gonna do any tricks for you guys today because I quite frankly don't know how to. While we're waiting, this is Oakley. Say hi, Oakley. So we're gonna start with some butter on your flat top. Just smear it all around. And mine is already extremely hot. We're gonna start with both of our eggs. Okay, now we're gonna season both of our eggs, throw on some pepper and some salt. Beautiful. And we're gonna flatten the yolks out. And then the big thing is that like the gooey, yolky part, it needs to all be cooked. So you're just gonna keep spreading this out, like pancaking it, until every single part of the egg is cooked. Okay, so hopefully at this point your rice is done and ready to go on. Make sure that you don't overdo your rice because if it does start to get brown, it will harden and then it's done. You just can't do hibachi with it. So don't let it get to that point and you'll be good. Okay, and then now is the part where they start to roll the egg. Say egg roll. So we're gonna roll up your egg, and then after like literally every part of it is cooked, it should look something like this. One more roll. That is a perfect egg roll. And then we're just gonna chop it up. All right, that's perfect. That's exactly what you want to see. Kind of Pop that up a little bit. Okay, we'll move that all to the side. And we're just gonna put a little bit of soy sauce on that. Okay. And then we're gonna go ahead and throw on our rice. The key to hibachi, the way you wanna think about making your rice is that you essentially want every single individual grain of rice to be on itself. What I mean by that is like right now you can tell the rice is very sticky. It'll stick to itself. If you were to like put it in a bowl, it would form into the bowl and you could drop it out and it'd be a perfect little cone. But we want the rice to cook so that way it's literally all individual pieces. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and mix in the egg. And so the way that we achieve like individualizing the rice is we are just literally gonna keep messing with it until every single individual piece of rice is cooked. You can flatten it out, that way it all cooks very evenly. We're gonna go ahead and season this. After this is sat for a little bit, we're gonna throw some soy sauce on it. The thing is though, is that you don't want to sit too much where it starts to get burnt, obviously. So we're letting it sit for a little bit. We're gonna pour some soy sauce on and then we're gonna go to town on this rice. All right, that's about what you wanna start with. Now we're gonna get in our other one. I'm using the bottom parts, and as you can see, like it was starting to group up. So you gotta have your timing perfect. And now it's just all about working the rice. And this will be mess. There's probably already a mess in front of me. But we're literally pushing it up and flipping it. That's how we're gonna create the perfect fried rice. We're pulling it from the sides. Like literally no grain is going untouched. Okay, so now I'm going to start flattening it out again, like flatten out the rice like this, and then you're just gonna start like literally pushing it all forward in baby bits. It seems so dumb, but it's literally what sets hibachi rice apart from all other rice. Okay, we're gonna move this to the side, let this sit for a minute, and we are gonna throw on our vegetables. Of course, before we do that, more butter. And then we can go ahead and separate the rice a little bit in the middle and add in, guess what? More butter. Throw in our bean sprouts. Probably do like half of this or most of all. Okay, those are just gonna kind of sit at the top and cook. And we're gonna throw in our zucchini. At this point, our rice is pretty much done. So we're gonna go ahead and scoop the rice off and just start to focus on our vegetables. So I'm just giving it one more toss and then taking it off of here and plating it. We gotta toss our bean sprouts so they're getting a little too much heat. So your bean sprouts are gonna cook really fast at this heat, as you can tell. You're gonna keep moving them around quite a bit. You just want them to be a light brown color. We're gonna add in a little bit of soy sauce and we're gonna season them. And your zucchini will take forever to cook, so. Typically they throw all of like the vegetables in together. I like cooking them separate just because it gives me a little bit more control on a space this small too. And we're gonna spread off some space, do a little bit of butter, and then our onion. The onion cooks faster than zucchini, so that's why I'm adding the zucchini first. And our bean sprouts are finished. We're gonna lay those on top of our rice. And now we have this whole cook space for our vegetables. We're just gonna keep turning them. We want everything to be very well browned. And we're gonna add some soy sauce. You might want your onions to be a bit smaller, so I'm just gonna cut them a little bit more. And this is looking perfect. This is exactly how you want it to look. Everything very brown. So our vegetables look great. We're gonna go ahead and move these onto our plate as well. So I'm just gonna kind of clear off my cook space. Make sure there's nothing on it, nothing left over, because all that will do is it'll just sit there and cook and get brown and crispy and gross. So just clear it all off. And now is the best part. So we're gonna spread around that butter. And then for the steak in particular, because we have to cut it up in the middle of cooking it, I liked bringing out my tongs. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. We're gonna flatten it out. Make sure that it's getting an even sear. And then strip steak cooks a lot faster than what a thicker steak would, obviously. So we're gonna flip it very soon. And then we're actually, like, right as soon as we flip it, gonna go in to start cutting it. You just want something that you like, okay. All right, we're gonna go ahead and flip it. All right, and now is time. Because it takes a while to do this, like, you really have to start right away, so that way it's not on here for too long. Because as you can tell, like, we're nearing the end right now, so I gotta pick it up. Now we're gonna throw in some soy sauce, and that's gonna make it all super brown. Throw in some more salt. All right, and this is ready to go. It's ready to go onto the plate. And we will give our helper a little thank you. Cool. Let's go ahead and move this stuff out of the way, and we can finish this out with the best sauce of all time and the reveal. Okay, and I got a small bowl of yum yum sauce, and we're gonna go ahead and try this out. And that is the best hibachi of all time. Okay, Oakley, say subscribe. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I have food in my mouth. I hope that this turns out great for you at home. If you try it, let me know. Otherwise, thanks for watching this video. We'll see you in the next one.